Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a very special guest. We have worked with each other. We did a video over on his channel, which I will have a link in the description down below. Basically going over the friend system, what we could fix in the friend system, talking about a bit of the current state of Dokkan battle and things that we would like to see implemented all together. And then this part 2 video, we are going to be discussing the World Tournament and a revamp that we would both enjoy. How are you doing today, Soviet Super Saiyan? It's great to have you here, man.
Great to be here, man. I'm doing great.
No, no, it's fun. I know, I think it was like a week and a half ago when we first talked about doing one of these. So I'm pretty, I'm glad that we're able to get the schedules aligned because schedules are always the biggest issue.
For real, for real. That's literally the number one issue trying to do collabs with anyone. It's just like trying to make the stars align and find the free time that both people have.
Yep. So I'm glad I was able to get you on today, and I just want to kind of discuss a few different options that we could see in the World Tournament because as of right now, it's a bit boring, to say the very least. It's not much fun.
That is a very tactful way to put it.
Yeah, I personally just don't like the mode. Like, I talked to my boy Mr. Baby about it. I would kind of just want them to scratch World Tournament.
Literally just do something else.
Like, yeah, they
I'm
could
100%
just,
with
yeah,
you.
they could just literally take it away, and I don't think I would complain, and I don't think anybody else would complain if they were just like, okay, we're taking away the World Tournament, but add something new. But if they have to keep the World Tournament in it, 100%, at least revamp it into a way where it's a bit more fun. One thing I came up with in my head was more like the biggest issue is, chasing after the stupid characters on the map. That is the most annoying thing that we have to deal with because you could actually time out, and that sucks. You do not want to be playing
Honestly,
this.
to me, it's kind of reminiscent of like, you know how early on in these story stages, the boards were like super, super long because like at that point, the mindset was, oh, if they're on the board and playing, it's extra gameplay. And then somewhere like halfway through, the stages got to the very much shorter length they are now because Akatsuki realized that like, oh wait, everyone hates the stage part but likes the actual Dokkan battle part. Same exact thing here. Like the World Tournament, when the first one come out? Years and years ago, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel like they were still in that same mentality of if they're running around, moving around the board and stuff, and they're in game, that is, we're getting people to spend, to get more gameplay. And it's just, like, especially the worst one is on stage. I feel like stage 1, 2 is like a big problem because why, like, the fact that you have to go through and either, beat one of the other 3 opponents and then just run around for the next 5 turns while they fight each other, or go and beat all 3 of those opponents for almost no point reward to get into the actual stages that matter.
Yep. Yeah. I feel that, man. I feel that. How have you been doing this World Tournament, actually? Have you been grinding it at all?
Oh, literally almost nothing. Like the past couple world tournaments, like my enthusiasm had waned down. Where the first couple I'd ever done when I started playing Dokkan and finally had a good enough team is, I would go all the way through, the 30 million point rewards for all the Kais and stuff, and then keep going to try and get like local rewards and stuff. Then, I decided I'm not going to try and go for local rewards or ranking. I'm just going to, get the 30 million. Then the past couple, I'm like, okay, I'll just go to 23 million to get the exclusive character. This time around, I literally have like 2.5 million points right now. I've done the 3 battles a day to get the dailies the past 2 days. But besides that, it's just like, I just have so many other things I would rather playing or doing that I just like am finding it hard to justify, going to play the World Tournament if I know I'm not going to have any fun with it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm kind of the same boat. I mean, I just kind of like to do it to get, to the level, the 30 million rewards because all the Kais and stuff like that. Then after that, I typically like to fall off because, again, spending stones is just so pointless to me.
On energy, yeah, it just feels awful too. It's like you have to do it if you want to chase that rank, but you don't feel great about spending it. I don't know. I guess you're in a little different boat too, where you getting all those extra, Kais and like resources and characters and stuff is like, helping you make content and stuff in the future. I don't really make Dokkan content. Like I do every once in a blue moon, but for the most part, I just play Dokkan because I enjoy the game. So it's pretty easy for me to just not feel too bad about not getting all that. But I don't know. Do you feel like you like still are like trying to grind through this because you like since you make content, you want to be as up on Dokkan as possible?
Yeah, which yeah, that's definitely the big thing about my channel is like I just constantly try making this a, you know, hold on. Okay, sorry, I was looking at something.
Oh, you're fine.
It's, you know, yeah, 100%. If they revamped, let's say they revamped the World Tournament, you know how many videos I could make off that, bro? You have any
Exactly.
idea how many videos, how much news that is? Yeah, that's a lot of
How much?
stuff.
Do you know how much just like eyeballs on Dokkan that would drive when every single like Dokkan YouTuber is like making all sorts of new videos on that there is a new mode coming out, then the new mode came out, then you strategy guides on how to beat it and stuff, and like all the goodwill that would like send. I don't know. Plus, it would just be when was the last time we really got a new gameplay mode? Like, I know that we technically got Chain Battle, but like that was barely anything.
Well, if you want to consider the new Freeze event that JP just got a new game mode,
Oh,
which
okay.
is pretty crappy. It's not. I mean, it's hardly anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, Chain Battle, it's
But like really
yeah.
nothing no like exciting new mode has came out, and like the last one that I was really around as a part of was when the legendary Goku event came out, and then to a lesser degree when the Infinite Dragon Ball Histories came out. But I feel like it would just be like such a hype thing for the game if they just like revamp this, did some lead up into like the new world tournament or something to replace the world tournament.
Yeah, no,
But
that would be
I mean,
dope.
like here's the other thing that I was thinking about that I'm not gonna. It's actually not my idea. It was Truth mentioned it on one of his videos I was watching. Why doesn't the world tournament level up links? I understand in events that don't cost any energy to not let links level up because that would make people never spend stones for energy. The world tournament costs energy. What is their justification for not letting us level up our links?
Zero.
Like literally, like even if they just added the ability for my links to level up, all of a sudden I am much more invested in actually grinding out the world tournament because the energy I'm spending, doesn't feel like it's just like purely to try and grind rank. All of a sudden it's like, okay, well I'm getting all the rewards and I'm working on these links and making these characters better. Like that alone, like if that was here, I'd probably be grinding it this time around.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. There's literally no reason why we shouldn't be getting links from grinding the world tournament. Zero.
The only thing that I could possibly think of is if there was something that they had to implement, coding wise, to allow for the world tournament to, trigger it, since it was, obviously the world tournament's way older than the link levels are. But in my mind, I really can't see how that would be an obstacle big enough to justify not doing it.
Yep, I completely agree, man. There's no reason why it's not there. But I get it. If it's a coding issue, we're in 2020. They should be able to fix that 100%
Yeah,
because
that's the thing.
people
This
spend
this isn't like some
thousands of
small indie
stones.
company.
Yeah, people spend stones all day doing this. It's like, I would again if they okay right then and there, we could end the video. If they literally were like, okay, you could start leveling up your links in World Tournament, I would do it 100%. I would
Yeah.
care about this mode so much more. The fact is, they don't, and I don't even know if that's even on their radar. And we mentioned in your video, I don't know what they're thinking in terms of content and just reworks and stuff like that. To me, it doesn't feel like they're doing it at all, but it's stuff that we should definitely be getting. I would absolutely love for them to add, you could level up your links in World Tournament. I would absolutely love for them to take away the stupid AI running away from you. Delete that.
Oh
Let us
my
just
goodness.
enter and fight the damn bosses. Like it does. Like this little stupid map doesn't need to be here. We could literally, easily take this thing off They add like a little
Yeah.
cutscene or whatever for like 10
Yeah, little
seconds.
cutscene. The way that I see it is like, in like think like, say a Dokkan event versus the Legendary Goku event or something. Legendary Goku event. You click on the event, you're into the fight. That's what I want the stages for World Tournament to feel like. Like when I think of the World Tournament in the actual anime, I think of this. I just think of like great fights happening, like one after another. They're not like never do I think about I don't like Goku having to run around for 5 minutes to go find the fight. It's two people show up, they have a great fight. One victor leaves, goes on to the next round.
Yep.
Like
Easy,
it would just literally
clean.
feel more like a world tournament if we weren't doing all that like extra running around.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Anything like that would be so much better, honestly. It's just a shame that they haven't gone back and said, "Oh, you know what? Maybe you guys don't like the World Tournament." But they don't. They don't. I don't think. Again, like I mentioned, I don't think they necessarily really care about certain things right now, and that's just one of them. Like I don't think it's on their radar.
Thing, if we're being honest, they seem to, if they acknowledge an issue, then they usually go and actually do something about it. But like 90% of the time, I feel like they just deem it not a big enough concern to address. And then if they don't publicly say anything about it, I have very little hopes of them, doing something just on their own without, announcing it. And like you said, they just have other priorities. And unfortunately, it's not really clear too much what they are besides trying to make as much money as possible. But I don't know. They're not that transparent about anything they do.
Yeah, no. Most gacha games aren't very open about business discussions and kind of stuff like that. It's been unfortunate because I would love to hear, Dokkan's thoughts and opinions on certain things, but unfortunately, they've always been like a very hush-hush company. They don't really want to necessarily bring out what they're working on and just kind of stuff like that. And again, with like the safety net features, for example, I think the safety net features basically prove that there's either going to be a new PvP mode, a new co-op mode, or something like that, versus
just like like run of the mill, more just like, oh, here's another story event.
It's more like they're doing that instead of revamping certain things. Like they're not really focused on revamps right now. They're not really.
They're focused on something new,
they're focused on something big that's coming. That's all it is. Like there's something big that's coming to the game that they have a lot of hope for, and I'm sure they think players will love it. We just don't know what it is yet, and they just have not hit that point yet for us because, again, if it's a PvP mode, that's going to take a very long time for them to hit it. If it's going to be a new co-op mode, it's going to take a long time for it to hit it. There's just a lot of different things that they can do that they're holding out. They're holding out on something big, so I do have some type of hope.
Yeah, here's the thing that to me though is I feel like they 100% could be doing using that time in a justifiable manner, but this in situations like this is why I don't understand why gacha companies are so hesitant to release information. It's like here's the way, like if you don't give us the information about what you're doing, we can't make any judgment on whether or not it's something we like or not, and that mystery is just kind of disconcerting. But the way I see it is like over in Legends. Like, do you play Legends at all, or?
I have it. I mean, I have a day one account that I log into every so often, and I.
Okay, so like I just want to at least a little bit about like the game and whatnot. So they had this for this one update. It would have been the, I believe, first one promised after the second anniversary happened. They announced that, hey, for a long time the load times in this game have been just really, really long, and we're going to fix that. Update came out, and they just flat out came out and said, hey, implementing like speeding up the load times was much harder than we expected it to be. Please give us 2 more updates and we'll bring it out for you. 2 updates came out later. They gave it to us, and the whole time the community was fairly happy with them, even despite the delay, because they were just honest with us about what they're doing and like the progress they're making. I just wish Dokkan would do that here for us for like, either explaining why safety net was added, why things have been relatively dry. Like if they just came out and told us, guys, for this 6 month block of time, expect things to be slower than usual because after it, we have this, brand new game mode or whatever it is that we want to bring to you guys. And I feel like the community as a whole would be fine with that because they would know why it's happening. But when we're just kept in the dark, then it's hard to defend or enjoy like that behavior. And like I am fairly optimistic that whatever they're doing will be worth it. But I don't know. Communication is better for both parties, I feel.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. 100%. So here's the thing, just to kind of piggyback off that, and the issue that a lot of people don't realize, it's that Japanese people are very proud people. They are very
Oh no, I know that 100%. The only reason I say that is like I feel like Eastern people in general kind of are, and I just like from the part of Russia that I come from, like my grandma and stuff was raised up, was literally like across the river from China and stuff, and it's obviously not the same culture, but I kind of get that Eastern mentality that they have over there a lot more than I feel like most people do.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Keep going. I know exactly what you're.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same with any race. Like people don't like to admit that they're wrong, just or this kind of stuff like that. So I want to say that is something to do with a lot of the gacha games, because.
But doesn't like Japan, like you're saying, like have a very much like you're saying, like very heavy focus on like keeping face and keeping like appearances up and stuff. Isn't there like a huge thing like in that country where people, if they're like saying like you work an office job and your boss is still there, a lot of people will stay there and just to appear that they're still working because they feel like if they leave before the boss does, it is a bad reflection on themselves, and just like little things like that. So. Yeah. But like, I could definitely see them being a lot more hesitant than American companies or something to go, hey guys, we have made a mistake in the way we're operating.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like a huge part of it. It's just, there's a lot of sense of pride with what they do. And, it's not like the game is falling apart, right? So it's
no. I mean, it's still good. Don't get me wrong.
But it's just like, I don't think it's enough yet for them to really like, come out of the woodworks and be like, oh, we have to apologize on something. And like the biggest issue with that is like the fact that, the fact is they've never really, like, they don't really have, I guess, the biggest reason to do something like that just yet. Because like the games, it's not like, Blazing, for example. Like the devs at Blazing should 100% come out and say like, yo, sorry. But Dokkan is, I mean, there's bad decisions, but I don't think it's hit a necessarily such a terrible level yet where like they like the devs have to come out and apologize for like the lack of anything. Like the World Tournament, the problem is we've all been playing the World Tournament for years. It's just we're sick of it. It worked when it first came out, and like nobody really cared as much. But then obviously after so much time goes away, we're like, okay, well this is actually kind of garbage.
Yeah, the novelty wears off, and then when it just becomes like an expected thing,
and I think that's
then
the
you
issue.
start noticing the errors in it, like the faults more and more.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think that's like primarily like the biggest issue that we're currently facing in terms of Dokkan. It's just I don't think the issues that we have are really like immediate issues for the company to look at, or even for something for them to really apologize about, because when you look at it in hindsight, we're all still playing the game, we're all still summoning.
Yeah, that's the number one thing that like
for a change to really happen and say, yo, I'm gonna put down this game right now and not play it anymore, nothing's really gonna change. Don't get me wrong, they definitely do have big plans, right? Like I mentioned, I do think that we're gonna see some big some big plans coming, but in terms of just everyday life stuff, we're still playing. So unless like Dokkan took a huge dip in money and like the rev just completely dropped or something crazy like that, there's no reason for them to come out publicly and be like, hey guys, we're coming out to say sorry for like the lack of this, the lack of that, because people are still playing, they're still making money. Yeah, we're not hitting top grossing, but they're still making millions of dollars, and
Yeah,
they're
it's still like one of
significantly.
the most profitable mobile games in the entire
Yeah,
world. In
exactly. So that like that's like the main thing that a lot of a lot of people are like, oh well, like the game is falling apart, which in
you
some
know, I
aspects it is. Like content is very dry, especially how they
yeah,
run
content's
global.
dry, but money wise, still like
Oh
I mean,
no, they still bank off banners.
I was reading that Dokkan hit $2 billion in revenue quicker than Candy Crush did. I did like when I read that I did like is when it really sank into me like just how much money Dokkan must print.
Yep, yep, yep,
Like,
yep.
because you got
Exactly.
thinking, like, I never see Dokkan ads. I literally, like, every other mobile game, I swear, I get bombarded with. Even before I played Dokkan, I just played Legends. No ads, because they're just like, we're gonna get the word of mouth around, and we're still making all this money.
Yep,
Oh
yep, yep.
man,
Exactly. So that's like the biggest thing with Dokkan right now is that they're still making tons of money. They're not having much of a financial loss because again, it's a very small team of devs that are working on the game.
oh,
So
is it? I thought it was a fairly sizable team.
I would no, I mean I really don't know, but I would imagine it's nothing too crazy. It's just a gotcha game.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess compared to
For
like
the amount
another
of money that they make, yeah, I'm sure they're fine. Um, like I don't think like the chairman is freaking out by any means right now. Like, oh, money's dropped this amount. It's like, yeah, like Dokkan definitely has made less money this year, but given again the circumstances of the world, it makes complete
yeah,
sense. Which a lot of people kind of tend to forget because like I'll go on Twitter, everybody's like, oh, Dokkan's dying. And I'm like, where do you like? Where does it like? Why? Why do people think that Dokkan's going anywhere? It's just to me, it's just a bit silly. I do.
people like to cry that the sky is falling all the time, and I have heard it. Every community just has a handful of people who I feel like are more invested in going, oh, today's the day it's going down, than actually like caring about the game.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are just love being naysayers. I think that's like the biggest thing. People just love being, I don't know. I guess it's just like a different time period. People just kind of like to be negative. They just kind of like always want like the worst to happen for some things, and it is what it is, right? I mean people are people, but talking in terms of Dokkan, it's not gonna end. This is
No.
the biggest Dragon Ball IP to date. Now, if we're talking about Legends, Legends, I don't
Oh
know.
boy, like here's the I'm gonna tell you like being 100% fact, like I'm not day one Legends, but I was like damn close, and I will be playing Legends die-heartedly until the day that game dies.
Yeah.
I I'd be lying if I told you I think it's gonna have Dokkan's lifespan. Realistically, I know some people have been saying they think 30 years is gonna be where it dies. I think we're gonna get it pushed out to a fourth year, and I think that's gonna be the twilight for it. Oh man, like yeah, for anyone who complains about Dokkan, they need to just like keep in mind how little the Legends devs ever listened to anything we said up until like like between like August to September when they're like, oh, we're sorry, the game's hemorrhaging money and players, please don't leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. But so, like you mentioned, I think Legends is definitely like a 4-year game as of right now. Unless they really pick things back up. Because again,
they really need to add in more things for players that don't. If they find a way to make PVE interesting, it's a whole new ball game. Because I personally find just like the gameplay mechanics, like if we take out all like character balancing and stuff like that, just the actual mechanics of how you fight another player in Dragon Ball Legends feels super. It's just like extremely fun to me. The problem is they are like their balancing at time almost always is just fucked. I'm sorry, and beyond that, they're like the game systems and like the just like general systems that surround the game are so bad so often that I don't know. That game really to me, where in Dokkan it feels like sometimes there's missteps, but then the team goes and corrects them, but in general always has like a healthy like kind of long-term mindset for the game. Legends kind of seems to go through cycles of, okay, we have goodwill, let's burn through all of it, monetizing the heck out of any like banners, everything we can do. Oh no, the player base got upset at us. let's have a couple months where we earn that trust back and we work on things positively, and then they just go burn through it again.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly, dude, exactly. So, no, and I'm glad we're able to have this discussion. 100%. It's always good to talk about like the business standpoints of like gotcha games and stuff like that. And I'm glad that you see like a lot of like the negativity in it. But I do want to say that Dokkan again is going to rise from the ashes. Legends, I don't know. Legends needs a lot, dude.
It,
Unfortunately, to really rise up, but I definitely can. Don't Legends isn't down and
yeah.
out yet. Like there could always be like a switch around where like they blow up, right? So,
Hmm.
definitely hopeful of them. Hopefully doing that one day, and that's my biggest hope, dude. So I'm pretty much good to wrap up. I hit up a lot of like the topics I wanted to hit up in this
I actually
video.
had one last thing that I
Yeah.
wanted to mention that I was just thinking of here the past couple minutes. So this is more speculation, like big brain conspiracy theory than anything. But so we added in the safety net, right?
Yeah.
That's like the anti cheat and stuff. And we also World Tournament hasn't been touched in forever. What if the revamp thing they did is somehow making like not necessarily like PvP all the time, but some kind of a like player versus player world tournament where I'm not going into these stages and competing against AI that I'm going to inevitably beat. I'm going in there with some other person who's in the world tournament. And I don't know how you would do head to head Dokkan, but I'm also not the dev team, and they've thought of crazy things before, and I feel like that could be a way to both fix the world tournament and add in PvP in a way that it's in the game, but doesn't make the game revolve around it. And like that's like I am very nervous for Dokkan to add a like permanent PvP mode in, but I think in measured doses it could be a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think PvP would not really break Dokkan like a lot of people are like anticipating because of so many people are like, oh my
Steve,
god,
listen,
like
no, I am PvP would like I am. This is one of the few things I feel like I disagreed with you on. I feel like you underestimate how much like if you added in PvP, like there's like how much it will become less fun for every single person who's not willing to keep
so
up and spend on a competitive
so
level.
let me tell you something. And the reason why I say I think it's okay, there's a game called Bleach Brave Souls. I'm not sure if you've
Yeah,
ever
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so that game has had PvP since day one, and it's always been like a complete ass show. But they have so much PvE content that you don't even have to look at it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if PvP becomes like a whale type of thing, let it be, because like Bleach Brave Souls has two game modes, and like, dude, I have not touched PvP in the last 2 years in that game. But I do all the PvE content. I grab all the orbs. I still summon. I do raids with my friends and stuff, kind of stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if
Mm.
Dokkan decided to do kind of like a PvP type of deal, they could do it like Bleach Brave Souls, where like it doesn't incorporate into the actual game, and just kind of leave it there. Like they could just put it on the side. Like, yeah, sure, if you want to do it, it's there, but we're still going to provide you everyday, content like different game modes, different stuff like that, where you don't have to worry about it. Like for
Here's
example,
what
like
here's
World
what I
Tournament.
worry about though.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Is the thing for me is if it was like that where it was an additional mode that you could play but you weren't harmed by not playing it, that would be good. However, Dokkan has a long running pattern of in various game modes and stuff adding in rewards and characters that you can only get by playing it. Like think for Battlefield, you can get all those Battlefield LRs. For SBR, you get those LRs. For the World Tournament, there's the World Tournament exclusive characters, and I feel that they would, if they added in PvP, they would also have like characters and other rewards and stuff that would be exclusive to the mode, and then every single person who plays would either be forced to play that mode to get those, even if they didn't want to, or feel like they are missing out on things that they potentially really want.
So I see the argument, but if they did it something kind of like what, like chain battle, for example, I think if they did it like chain battle, I think it would be okay. But again, I get what you're saying. Like if they added like a free to play LR that's tied to PvP, to the PvP game mode, yeah, it could definitely hurt, a lot of people's like, feelings. Like, what happens if it's like an actual like really cool card that everybody wants, but unfortunately you can't get it. But in the same sense, it's kind of like the World Tournament because like you have to be in the top 20 to be able to get the LR. I think it's something like that.
Yeah, but don't they usually like down the road make it like easier to get? Like
They do after the first time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So the thing is there it's kind of like time gated more so than like hard locked out. Because once it gets easier, like then like yeah, hitting top 20 is rough, but even get to, like then once that requirement gets relaxed, it's not nearly as bad anymore.
Very true, very true. But I don't know. I want to kind of keep myself kind of like hopeful for the most part with PvP. I think like it could work, but I definitely see where it couldn't. So I mean, as for right now, I'm pretty optimistic that they could make it work.
Until they show us that they can't do it, I'm going to have faith they can.
Yeah, they just
I just being a Legends main, PvP worries me sometimes.
Yeah, looking at how Legends' PvP is not the greatest. But no, I'm glad you brought that up so we could have that in the video as well, because PvP is always something a lot of people don't really like to talk about. But I'm glad we were able to throw that in there. So, do you have any other topics?
No, besides that, we covered pretty much everything I thought about.
Oh, great, dude, great. Well, guys, definitely go ahead and check out the boy Soviet Saiyan's YouTube channel. I will leave a link to our video in the description and a link to his Twitter and all that good stuff. So definitely check out his stuff. He does play Dragon Ball Legends primarily, but he also does a podcast every once in a while. That's pretty cool. And he just has great content. So, man, again, thank you so much for coming on and making time out of your schedule to kind of, just jump on and make these videos. And thank you guys, the viewers, for watching all these. And do you have you want to say bye to everybody, man?
Yeah, man. I appreciate that. You have me on the channel. We had a great discussion as always. And no, that's about it. I had a great time, man.
Alrighty, well, sounds good, man. Thanks for coming on. And guys, definitely check out my boy's stuff in the description below. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.
Peace.